Greetings, wizards! Skyrim's been out for well over a decade now, and somehow is still hiding secrets that blow my mind. From creepy mysteries in the Reach to glitchy mechanics that break the game in your favor. I've rounded up 10 strange, overlooked, or just downright cool secrets you never knew existed. Well, hopefully. Nah, I'm pretty confident I can teach you something new today, but let's put that to the test, shall we? To kick things off, we're gonna start with a little trick. If you're early game and haven't fully built out your sneak tree yet, you're gonna love this one. I call it the free silent roll. It lets you do a full dodge roll just like the silent roll perk without actually needing it. That means no sneak level 50 and no perk point investment. Here's how it's done. First, go into sneak mode by crouching like normal. Then jump, and while you're in mid-air, hold down sprint. If you time it right, your character will perform a full dodge roll when they land, just like the silent roll perk. And yes, it's completely silent. No, it doesn't quite give you the same speed boost as the perk does, but who cares? You're rolling like a ninja for free at level 1. Okay, now that we've mastered the art of the roll, let's head underground for something a little more deadly. Blackreach is an underground cavern lit by glowing mushrooms and an eerie blue light. You usually get here while chasing down one of the Elder Scrolls during the main questline. But if you're anything like me, you probably explored a little bit, but then just beelined your way through and missed a ton of what's hidden down here. Which means you probably missed Silent Ruin. Tucked away in the northern corner of Blackreach, this tiny Dwemer ruin is completely off the beaten path. No quest sends you here, no NPC mentions it, and so there's no real reason to find it, unless you're curious. And maybe that should have been a red flag. Inside, it's just a single room. One very quiet, very suspicious looking room with a lone dwarven throne at the back. Looking around the chamber, we can find some dwarven scrap, a chest with some loot, and a crimson nirnroot right by the throne. Useful if you're working on a return to your roots. Oh, and would you look at that? A skill book. Let me just grab that. Yeah, turns out there's a hidden pressure plate right in front of the book, and when triggered, a spinning blade flies out directly at crotch height. Some fans have even dubbed this thing as the self-circumciser, and yeah, that's horrifyingly accurate. It's like the Dwemer built this place as a test for us loot goblins, or maybe as a joke. Whatever the reason, keep your eyes peeled down here, and maybe bring a follower to walk ahead of you. You know, for science.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it.
Okay, now that we've been sliced and diced, it's time to talk about something a little more poetry-based. If you're wandering the hills around Iverstead, you might stumble across something strange. It's an unmarked spot, so it's easy to miss, but every now and then you'll come across a novice necromancer performing a very bizarre ritual. He's set up a little altar surrounded by chicken eggs, and he's clearly working on some kind of magic. So naturally, you go in for a closer look, and just like you expect, he reanimates the dead. Except, the only dead things around here are chickens. So what do we get? A full-on flock of undead zombie chickens. Yep, this guy has protected himself with an army of reanimated poultry, and most of them don't even attack. So no, he's not the most powerful necromancer, bless him, but you gotta admit, he sure knows how to wing it. As funny as reanimated chickens are, Skyrim also hides some seriously haunting moments, like this next one in the Reach. This is Forsworn territory, home to wild magic, blood rituals, and a deep ancient hatred for the Nords. Even the land itself feels hostile, and I've lost many a horse here. A quick moment of silence for all those brave steeds, please. Thank you. But sometimes the stories hidden in these hills are even harsher. Just northwest of the Shrine to Pyrrhite, we can stumble upon a small, quiet pond. It's a peaceful little place, almost serene, until you spot the body of a young woman lying on the rocks. Her clothes and jewelry are folded neatly nearby, like she was about to get ready for a swim. And upon reading her journal, we can learn that she loved the place. This pond was her special spot, where she visited occasionally for a relaxing dip. Her father had warned her not to wander this far, especially with the Forsworn about, but she thought she'd be safe. A few Forsworn arrows nearby tell the rest of the story. It seems she was likely ambushed while swimming, or just as she stepped out of the water, and depending on how you look at it, it might be even darker than that. It's tragic, it's chilling, and it's one of the reasons Skyrim still feels so alive over a decade later, because even its quiet corners can hold stories like this. Alright, after that heartbreak in the hills, I think it's time to lighten the mood a little. How about something a little more cheesy? We're heading over to Markarth, the city of shady politics, ancient Dwemer ruins, and apparently retro gaming references. Yeah, tucked away in Enden's home, the local silversmith, there's a tiny Easter egg that's super easy to miss. But if you poke around a bit and take a closer look at one of the shelves, you should spot it straight away. It's Pac-Man! The cheese wedge is Pac-Man himself, complete with a slaughterfish egg for an eye. The garlic cloves are the pellets he's chasing, and the glow dust is the ghost. It's such a random little detail, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. And honestly, respect to Enden, the guy's got culture. Now that we've had our cheese and glow dust, let's go treasure hunting. Tucked away just southwest of Skyhaven Temple, right along the steep banks of the Karth River, lies an unmarked location you'll definitely want to remember. Head down to the riverbank and you'll spot a broken boat. It's been buried in the mud like it's been forgotten for years. But take a peek inside and...
so much booty!
You'll find all sorts of gems here, even a flawless diamond which can be flipped for a fat stack of septims. There's also a locked strongbox, an apothecary satchel, and a few bottles of wine to kick off the celebrations. Even the river itself has a submerged chest and some barrels. And the great thing about this is that it all respawns, so if you're farming flawless gems, this place is gold. But it does make you wonder, what exactly happened here? Well, some players think it was an ambush. I mean, we are deep in Forsworn territory, which isn't the safest place to cruise through with a boat full of flawless gems, is it? But if it was an ambush, why didn't the Forsworn take the loot? Another theory is that this was a smuggler's stash. Someone loaded up a boat, hid it away in this out-of-the-sight bend in the river, planning to come back to it later. But then, why bury your treasure chest and barrels in the water? The theory that makes the most sense to me is that this was just a good old-fashioned accident. Yeah, a pretty boring theory. But given that the Karth River is steep, fast, and full of rapids, it's not hard to imagine the boat getting wrecked here. But either way, it doesn't matter, because this loot is ours. Now let's take a break from loot and talk about bones. Specifically, the bones that the College of Winterhold's been hiding in their basement. The Midden isn't a place most players just stumble across, as the entrance is pretty well hidden. But even if you do find it, chances are you might never fully explore it. If you take the time to look around, however, you'll find something strange. Something I like to call the human deer. Just past the main entrance, you'll spot it in a large chamber with two skeletons chained high on the wall. One is fully human, but the other has a deer skull, and not just any deer skull, one with rubies for eyes. And naturally, that raises some big questions. What the hell is this? Who put it here? And why? Some players think it's just set dressing, a little creepy bit of ambiance to remind us that the Midden is full of dark magic. And maybe that's just all it is, but others, including myself, believe there's more to it. See, the Midden is full of skeleton-themed oddities, and in my mind, all this stuff has just got to mean something. One popular theory is that these are the shrines to Hircine, the Daedric prince of the hunt. The deer imagery fits pretty well, and that deer skull could be a tribute, or even a sacrifice. But the theory that I really like ties all of this back to the Augur of Dun Lane, that mysterious former student who now exists as a glowing ball of energy here. Some believe he may have come from the Reach, or was influenced by Reachman traditions. And if we're familiar with the Forsworn, we know they're obsessed with antlers, bones, and totems. So maybe all these strange decorations are remnants of his past, or clues to the ritual that transformed him into whatever he is now. We might never know for sure, but whatever the case, the Midden isn't just a creepy basement. It's full of strange artifacts, untold stories, and long-buried experiments the college probably wants us to forget. After all that unsettling imagery, I think we deserve a drink. Maybe something with juniper berries? The opening moments of Skyrim are burned into the memory of pretty much all of us at this point. That doomed cart ride to Helgen, the fog in the air, and that quiet dread hanging over everyone except you. Because you've played this intro 1,000 times before, and you know Alduin's about to crash the party. During that ride, Ralof, your fellow prisoner and soon-to-be ally, mentions something kind of random.
This is Helgen. I used to be sweet on a girl from here. Wonder if Velod is still making that mead with juniper berries mixed in.
At the time, it sounds like nothing, just a little bit of character flavor. But if we return to the ruins of Helgen after the dragon attack, specifically the upper level of the inn, we can actually find 5 bottles of mead with juniper berries lying around. It's easy to miss, but it's a beautiful little callback to the very start of the game. And it's the tiniest of things like this that makes Skyrim feel so real. It's a world where someone like Velod had his own thing going, and those little bottles of mead are all that's left of it. I'm not crying, you are. Now that we've paid tribute to Velod's Lost Brew, let's visit a place that definitely doesn't serve refreshments, the Chill. Now, unlike other holds which throw you in some generic jail cell right in town, Winterhold does things a little bit differently.
Of the yard. Stop right there.
If you somehow manage to get arrested here by its 3 whole guards, they don't just lock you up in a basement. They haul your ass all the way north across the frozen sea to an isolated glacial cave. Welcome to the Chill. Inside, it's just a small ice cave with a few iron cages. But what sets this place apart is that there are no human guards. Instead, it's patrolled by frost atronachs. Oh, and the occasional hawker. They're probably summoned by mages from the College of Winterhold. And get this, unlike every other jail, you actually get to keep your gear. And while that sounds helpful, it still doesn't make things easy, because even if you do manage to escape, 3 more frost atronachs are waiting outside. Alright, we've broken out of a glacial prison, but this next guy wasn't so lucky. High up in the rugged, often overlooked peaks near the Thalmor Embassy lies a creepy little mystery. There, resting in the snow, you'll come across a lone skeleton, violently pinned to the ground by multiple weapons. It's not exactly something you see every day in Skyrim, and naturally it raises some questions. The community has given him the name Pincushion Pete, and if we look around, we can find what's left of his story. Next to his body are 2 books. The Rear Guard, a light armor skill book about a lone defender holding a castle against impossible odds, and Azir Chajir Zarzori, a Khajiit manifesto about rebellion, resistance, and fighting oppression. Oh, and sitting nearby on a stump is a staff of fireballs. So from this we can assume that Pete was a mage, and given the sheer variety of weapons lodged in him, probably a damn good one. Rest well, wizard. One popular theory is that Pete was connected to Khajiit rebels, maybe the Renrizra Kreen. Some groups kept fighting for independence after the White Gold Concordat, and Pete might have been helping them. Or maybe he was acting alone, trying to sabotage or infiltrate the Thalmor Embassy. Whatever the case, he got caught, and the way his body is pinned down like a trophy feels like a warning. And considering the embassy is right there in the background, I don't think that placement is an accident. And there we have it, 10 Skyrim secrets you probably, well, hopefully, never knew existed. What are your theories about the various secrets we've covered today? Let me know in the comments. And if you'd like a part 2, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out. Until then, thanks for watching, wizards, for this has been the Welsh Wizard, and I shall see you all in the next one.